My name is Gilda Evans. I am the author of the Girl Talk book for teens. This is a book that's written for the soundbite generation. Short, concise chapters that are to the point, that are written with humor and insightfulness that any kid, any parent can easily read and digest and get through. It deals with all the salient issues, sex, drugs, rock and roll, the hard-hitting issues, and the ones that are not so hard-hitting. It's all there, and it's accessible and easy to understand.
My name is Chase.
My name is Nicholas.
My name is David.
My name is Kendra. Girl Talk affected me by making me realize that there are a lot of issues that teens go through, more than just the stereotypical ones that you see in movies. I liked that the language, how it was kind of like talking to you, but it's not, because it's a book, and I just like books like that.
Well, by reading Girl Talk, it made me realize that there's a lot of problems that teenagers go through, and not all of them are really noticed by people, and so they don't know how to help them. And I liked how it related to me, and like how it could actually communicate with teens with like using the language that we use, and not like going into really complicated things.
With Girl Talk, I really liked the way it covered like a full spectrum of topics. It wasn't just girl-specific things. It did cover like family issues and relationship issues and personal issues. So I really like that. And there's a couple of the little chapters that stuck out to me that I really liked.
Reading Girl Talk really opened my eyes about what teens actually go through, and they actually just hide it inside of them, and really their life is just so much different from mine, and how many actually go through the same problems as I do, and actually shows me how many people out there actually do have these issues and don't show it. I like that it had short chapters. They were short and to the point, and it actually related to me. Some of the chapters were actually, I felt that I could write a story right along with it, with the story that you provided, and it just helped me get through it and gave me helpful advice. The issues that teens should be most aware of nowadays are drugs, teen pregnancy, and STDs and stuff, and self-harm, because that is a major thing. I personally know a few people who self-harm themselves. Well, I related to some of those because a lot of people at this school do drugs, and it's just not a pleasant atmosphere, really.
I think that the most important subjects, well, in my opinion, that kids need to know about are the ones about like drug abuse, bullying, and, well, those are in my opinion the most, and rape is the most. Drug abuse is something really big, and it affects everyone around you. Like if one person does it, then it affects friends, family.
There was one that you talked about, the drugs at parties and stuff, because I know especially where we are, it's a really big deal. How some kids, they just kind of accidentally, they go to a party and like, oh, you want some of this? And, they don't know anybody. And I'm like, sure. And then it can have some really bad effects. Like some people, they get stuck on it and they feed for it and they go and get more. And I don't even know how many friends I watched go down that road because of one time at a party, they tried something. And I thought that it was really good that you addressed that and how to react to that kind of situation. And if I remember right, I don't think you scolded about it or anything. You just gave advice for both ways on, if you do it, make sure you know exactly what you're taking and what's going on. Because people are going to try it. And I like how, you weren't just being a mom, like, oh, don't do it, it's bad. So you kind of, you actually addressed that both ways. I thought that was really good.
Well, I was hanging out with my friend, and I was at his house, and he was smoking marijuana over there, and he was asking me if I wanted some, and I said no thanks, but he was respectful about it, and he walked out of the room because he didn't know that I didn't smoke marijuana. And he put it out, and then he came back in and we started hanging out again. And also his friends were really respectful about it when they were over and they're all hanging out, and one of them pulls out a joint and they're passing it around. You know, they're respectful about it, and they put it away once they find out that I don't smoke and find it offensive. If someone ever tries to peer pressure you doing drugs, you don't have to. If they're really friends, they'll accept you for you are, not because you do drugs. I mean, they should really know who you are and respect that. If they don't, this is
Teen pregnancy. I have a friend who got pregnant and she had a baby a couple months ago, and it's just like she can't really go to school that often because she has to take care of her baby, and it's just a lot on her plate. What would be good for her to?
I don't have any experiences with teen pregnancy, obviously, but there is a friend that we all know that has just recently had a baby of her own, and her life is gonna be kind of rough, I admit, having a baby at this young age, because of her education will definitely get in the way, and you know, just as she's going to school, you know, she's gonna have to worry about, like, she can't do any more activities now that she constantly has to be on watch with her baby, but I'm sure it's totally gonna be worth it for her baby if she really puts the time into her baby and finds time for both subjects.
Rape is just horrible, and I hear a lot of stories of people being raped and no one telling anyone, and it's a big problem that teens need to know about and be informed about.
This one, it had the subject we got to, and I think it was one of the last ones in the book, and it was about rape. And it kind of made me mad because some of the boys in the class, you know, had started to make jokes about it, like it wasn't serious. And I've known people that have gone through that. And I know that it's not something that should be taken lightly. And I was really happy that that was something that you addressed. It's like so many girls, you know, especially in high school, and even the girls at the middle school that act older than they are, you know, they go to parties and then they go too far and they don't know how to speak up, or they can't. And, you know, the guy takes advantage of them. And then, you know, the girl ends up being called a slut or something, and it's not the case at all.
The chapter I can personally relate to is To Snitch or Not to Snitch, because it talks about what to do in a situation where you don't know if you should go tell someone that some other person is doing something bad, or should you stay quiet because they're your friend. And this happens to me a lot in school because they ask me to, like, hold, for example, drugs or something, and I'm not sure whether to go tell a teacher, the principal, or someone, because I'm afraid what they'll do. And of course I don't accept it, but I don't know whether to ask for help from another person or what I should do, because I'm scared what they'll do to me.
But, and then the bullying subject. There was a kid that bullied me a while ago in middle school, and it really seemed big to me. It kind of sticks around in your head for a bit, you know, constantly thinking about him. But as I got older, I kind of tended to ignore him and he went away. And no faculty did anything about it because he always seemed so innocent. And then I finally realized that he has issues at home too, and he has no way to express them there, so he just lets his anger out at school. And I think it would have helped me realize kind of that he's different from me also, and that he has problems of his own at home, and that's probably the reason why he's doing it.
I think bullying is also one of the biggest subjects that teens need to know and understand, because if you bully a person, you don't know if they're gonna go home and, like, hurt themselves or cut themselves, or even go to the extreme and, like, commit suicide or something, because, like, there's cyberbullying or bullying in general, or, like, spreading rumors can do a lot of damage, but people don't know it.
And then self-harm, my friend who lives out of state self-harms, and her mom doesn't know, and it's a big issue because I can't tell her mom because I don't know her parents, so I can't really help her besides trying to talk to her. And I think that a lot of people judge other people by, like, if they cut or something, they're like, oh, that person's emo, but like sometimes they cut to like feel pain just to remember that they are still alive.
I just say be careful, because everything you do, it does somehow affect you down the road, whether you realize it or not. You know, you could wind up that, you know, one night at a party you can end up pregnant. The drugs could, you know, cause some severe damage to your brain. You know, sever relationships. You know, you think ditching at school might not be a big deal, but, you know, 2 semesters later you failed all your classes, and next thing you know, you're not graduating. But everything you do, you know, that makes a big difference. So, you know, because they use that term, you know, YOLO, you only live once, so let's go be stupid. But in my opinion, that's like an even more of a reason to not do stupid things, because if you only have one life, you shouldn't be wasting it doing things that can end it, you know, faster.
I think it's a really brilliant idea to write this book, and it's just really cool that you did it, and a lot of people need to read stuff like this.
Reading Girl Talk really opened my eyes about what teens actually go through, and they actually just hide it inside of them, and really their life is just so much different from mine, and how many actually go through the same problems as I do, and actually shows me how many people out there actually do have these issues and don't show it.
Gilda coming and speaking to our students, she inspired them to follow their passions, to follow their dreams. She shared her various life experiences, and she was able to communicate that they don't need to be afraid of failure and to never give up. And all of that, of course, is reinforced in Girl Talk.